or was it Belgium, I can't remember, finally found the owner of the Smurfs and said, can we license it for America? License it for America. It had been in Europe for 25 years. Brought it here and it became huge here. Question is, every time you look at a product, why don't you ask yourself the question, wonder if that would sell in China? Would that sell in Turkey? Would that sell in, where could we sell it? And could I get the license to that? Does the person who's marketing that have a license to sell it all around the world? Etc. These are just questions that start to now kind of, you want to work with a computer? Your brain is a computer. Do you know how you program it? With questions.
Question is the answer in this case.
The question is the answer. If you have a question you can ask yourself and ponder it. Most people ask themselves the wrong questions all the time. Like
how do I get a job? And I'll bet I'm not worth more than 30 to 50 grand a year.
How come I keep screwing up so often?
Wrong question, wrong result. The size of your question determines the size of your result. Everyone say, I'm into big questions from now on. Substantive questions from now on.
I want you to go home and I want you to count up 101 things in your house. Count them up. Toilet paper holder.
Just the other one I picked the other day.
Let me finish. Toothpaste, walls, carpets, dishes. Count up 101 things. As you go through that list of 101 things that you've written down, the things that are in your house right now, ask yourself how many millionaires were made from those things. And the answer is every one of those things made a millionaire. The next question you should ask is, what if I could take that one thing, go down with your intuition. Yeah, number 64, I like that one. Go out 100 years with it. What is this going to be like in 100 years? If you'll ask that simple question, your brain will now, as a computer, a powerful computer, will start to create a future of what it's going to be like, a wildly, totally different product than you'd in your house right now. Then the next question is, how can I bring my vision of the future back to today? That in itself, if you did that with every one of the 101 objects in your house today, one of them you were destined to make millions from by using that one simple question. You're going to read about this in the book. There's a chapter in the book where every product can be maximized, minimized, plus, minus, etc. What Mark and I like to do is to take a big concept and to put it into one page. So you look at one page, you got the whole chapter. And these icons may not mean a lot to you now, but as you read through the chapter, you'll understand that the star at the top means to enlighten a product. And the question you'd ask is, how would higher power enlighten this product? How could we enlighten it? Well, the easiest way to enlighten it is to dedicate 10% of it to somebody who needs it. And that enlightens it instantly, just like that.
The second thing I'd say is that, I'm a great fan of Dr. George Washington Carver, who is in 1864 watched his mother pulled into slavery. He bounces around orphanage to orphanage, but they teach him the blue-black speller. First black man to graduate with 3 doctorates in Iowa. Booker T says, look, you got to come down to Tuskegee to help our people. The boll weevil was eating the cotton, but it wasn't eating it because it was strong. It was eating it because it was weak. It's just like garbage doesn't create rats. It just feeds them in New York when we have garbage strikes. Point is, he says, okay, God, take your eyes through my heart and see what to do. And he said, grow legumes. And all of a sudden he says, well, what do legumes do? Well, soybeans and peanuts take sun and through photosynthesis put nitrogen back in the soil, make the soil strong again. He talks to all the black farmers who've taken over all the farms to grow peanuts. And he said, you have not been studying your entrepreneurship, because Say's law, John Baptiste Say, says an entrepreneur. Everyone say, I'm an entrepreneur.
I'm an entrepreneur.
Take something from a lower value. Everyone say lower value. Lower value. And makes it into a higher value. Higher value. Higher value. Higher value. Higher value. Higher value. What Bob and I are trying to do is up your value. And what he did is he said, what I'll do is I'll go into meditation at 4 in the morning again, take God's eyes looking. And in 1 month he had 367 inventions for the peanut at a higher value. And now all the peanut became valuable. It was always valuable, but remember, we said it's hidden in plain sight. Everyone say hidden in plain sight?
Hidden in plain sight.
He came up with peanut oil, peanut milk, and the one we eat all the time is peanut That is enlightened, because he said, and then, you know, Henry Ford says, well, you got to work for me. And Thomas Edison said, you got to work for me. He said, no, I'm working for, you know, my brothers and sisters down here, and I want to show everybody that they can think. And he turned them on. And if you haven't been down to Tuskegee, Alabama, you need to go down there sometime. But that's enlightened.
So every product can be completely transformed. That's the point. Everything you see can be transformed. And this is a model where everything you see in your house can be plus, minus, minimized, maximized, enlightened, residualized, multiple streamed, A plus B. Well, Mark and I are A plus B. I was successful. He was successful. We added each other to each other, and we become less successful. But
that was a joke.
You know, your telephone has got a PDA in it. Right? You take a PDA and you take a telephone, you add it together. Your telephone's got a camera in it. You take a camera and a telephone, you add them together, and you have another product. You A plus B it. When you add something to a product, can you millionize it? Tell me a product that was an ordinary nothing product, and somebody added one little thing to it and made $1 billion from it.
Anyone, raise your hand. M3P?
Post it. Post it.
Sir.
An ordinary
tissue paper.
Tissue paper had a fragrance to it. Give me some more. What? Pet rock? Pet rock?
Pet rock?
How about water? What is more expensive than a gallon of gasoline? Water. I mean, you can get it from a tap, for crying out loud. Just turn the tap. But no, I got to go buy it in a bottle because somebody put some vitamins in there, something like that. Or they took something out of it, they minused it, they made it pure. They brought it from the deepest part of the earth, sucked it right out of there, put it into an expensive bottle, and sell it more expensive than gas, right? That's what you do when you plus or you minus something.
Now, our other friend that minused it, some of you that live in California, you go to Carl Karcher's, it's a hamburger place. And Carl Karcher's 87, was getting a little portly. He said, the carb thing's big. We'll do the first 2 years ago, no carb burger. Took away the buns, kept the hamburger and the lettuce and the sesame seeds, wrapped it in paper, charged $1 extra. Everyone say $1 extra? He took away the buns, charged $1 extra, made $1 billion in his first month. Point your temples, go, that's interesting. Everyone touch your heart, say, I can do this. I can do this. Touch your neighbor's shoulder, say, you can do this.
You can do this. So as you're sitting in your living room tonight, whenever you get home.
After you write 101 goals and send us a copy at markvictorhansen.com, we'll send it back in a year. But you're going to write, write what you're going to do to it.
And you're going to look at an object, whatever it is. There's a garbage can, all right? Or there's a pen, or there's a telephone. And you're going to ask yourself the question, what could I take away from that to make it $1 billion product? What could I add to that? What could I add together with it, A plus B? How could I minimize it, maximize it? What is the plus sign and the minus sign we just went through? Multiply. How can I multiply it? The multiplying idea is what happened with Price Club. Price Club happened right here in California. Was it 1974 or something like that? A guy says, let's just create a great big huge building like a warehouse. Let's not make it pretty. Let's make it as ugly as possible. Let's have these big carts that you have to feel like you're a construction worker to use. And let's package gum instead of selling onesies and twosies. Let's package a package of gum with 500, packets in it or something crazy idea and sell it really cheap. I mean, Price Club started right here where they took an idea, and there were thousands of grocery stores, hundreds of thousands of grocery stores. And he says, I'm going to take it and I'm going to multiply it. I'm going to figure out a way to sell not just one, but sell 50 at a time. And let's make a store big enough to do that. So what I'm trying to say is that everything can be transformed.
I want to hitchhike on that, though. Saul Price is a guy who created it down in San Diego, his neighbor. And Saul called me up after our book was blowing 20,000 a week through his stores. And he said, Mark, man, we love your book, but everybody thinks it's a cookbook. We want a cookbook. I said, Saul, I love you, pal, but we don't do cookbooks. He said, the first order is $250,000. I said, Saul, we can do a cookbook? Now, what company slows down or product or service?
And they made $1 billion from it. Aging, absolutely. That's a whole new field.
The anti-aging stuff is where the big money is going to be.
What else can we slow down and make $1 billion from it?
Sorry?
Think about it.
Time release. By the way, that's called chelation in herbs and vitamins. Yes.
Time release drugs. Exactly. That made $1 billion from that.
What else? Ketchup.
Ketchup. Ketchup. Cracking the angel code. Let's just talk about that for a few minutes. What is an angel? Well, there are visible angels and invisible angels. What is a visible angel? You're looking at them. You're looking at them. Each of you has a group of people that you meet with on a regular basis to become part of your team. Yes or yes? If you don't, you need to. An angel is a person that brings their gifts, their talents to you. And you don't have those gifts and talents, and you kind of form a team together. And each of those angels, the word angel is actually another acronym, and we use lots of acronyms, too many. Actually, when we were sending the manuscript, and our editor said, there's so many acronyms in this book. And so we actually made up another acronym that you get to decide what it means. You get to create your own acronym. This is the word angels, what it means. An angel is a person who has assets. That's for the A. Or tools, equipment. They got something physical. Or maybe money, credit, whatever. They got assets. They're going to help you make your deal happen. The N stands for a network. Exactly. A network. Meaning, somebody you bring into your team may have a network connection. For instance, one of the reasons I'm a partner with Mark, I'm pretty much of a loner, to tell you the honest truth. My wife married this guy, but when I go home, I'm not this guy. When he goes home, he is that guy. He is just like that in every scenario possible. I'm only this right here. But when I get home, I'm very, very shy, frankly. Very shy. It's hard to believe that, isn't it? I'm pretty much of a loner. I'll go in my room. And anyway, for a network, I'm not good at networking. I suck at networking. But this guy, when you look in the dictionary, the word network is a picture of him. How many people has he talked about? Here I'm standing on the stage. Every time I tell a story, he knows the guy or the gal, It's just, he knows more people than anybody I have ever met. And on your team of angels, you need to have somebody like that. Someone who likes to network. I don't like to network. I'm pretty much a loner. I'm a do-it-yourself kind of guy. Well, I'll just do it all myself, man. I don't need anybody else. And him, he is just amazing. He has a skill I do not have. The reason that we do well is because I've got skills he doesn't have. Not very many. But
is this we prayed and you said you'd be humble for a change? Everyone go, oh, Bobby.
So you need somebody on your team who is a networker, who actually thrives to bring people into your team. The G in your angel spells, and when you see somebody, they have a genius about them. We all do have genius. But they have skills or talents. Something about them brings to the table some skill, some genius that you just can't find anywhere else. And so when you're looking at somebody, you really, the question you're asking is, what is your genius? What do you bring to the table that nobody else in the world could bring to the table? You need an angel like that. The E stands for their education or experience. Maybe they have an experience of if it's a fundraiser, raising funds for thousands of different churches. Well, you don't have that experience. Well, then I bring them into my team because of their experience. Because they know, bam, just like that, exactly who to talk to, what to say. They've done it 1,000 times before, but you haven't. So you bring somebody on your team who has. The L stands for the light. Meaning, and I'm glad to my daughter Ame, who was singing the song about light. On your team, does that person have light? Meaning, do they believe in higher power? Are they a giver? Do you want somebody on your team who's not a giver? Why would you allow that person to be on your team? If giving is so powerful, if higher power blesses people, you would want to find a giver to be on your team. You want to have a light and enlightened person. It also means somebody that believes in a higher power. do they believe in a higher power? When you start talking about higher power, will they be offended? Will it make their skin crawl? It makes some people's skin crawl, and that's okay. They'll find out one of these days. You want to bring somebody on your team, when you say those kinds of words, they're going to go, yeah, let's pray. Like today, we're having breakfast over at the Coco's, whatever it is. Mark reaches out and grabs my hands and he says, let's pray. We never eat without praying. I always eat almost without praying. I mean, I just do it naturally. I just eat. He won't even start it up. We have a meeting up there in the room. Grabs everybody's hands. Let's pray. I mean, this is the kind of